torch bearers of change. If we do not raise our voices, who will? Jai Yuva! Jai Nepal!
In the smoldering ruins of Kathmandu's political establishment, where parliament buildings lie charred and prime ministers have fled in disgrace, many are saying this was perhaps the starting of the Gen Z protest. But wait, the true genesis of this revolutionary movement could be traced back to a school auditorium 6 months ago, where a 16-year-old boy named Avishkar Raut delivered a speech that would prove to be nothing short of prophetic. What began as a routine annual day address at Holy Bell English Secondary School in Nepal's Jampa has transformed into a defining moment of Nepal's political awakening. Raut, then simply the head boy delivering his farewell speech, has emerged as unlikely architect of the movement that has toppled governments and inspired an entire generation to reclaim their nation's future. Standing before his school audience in March 2025, young Raut spoke with the passion of someone who could see beyond the immediate horizon. His word carried an urgency that resonated far beyond those school walls. This is how he began his speech, and I quote, "Today I stand here with the dream of building a new Nepal, with a fire of hope and passion burning within me. But my heart is heavy because this dream seems to be slipping away." These weren't just polished words of a typical student speech. They were the authentic cries of a generation that locals say suffocating under a systematic failure. The most hard-hitting part of his speech came when he directly confronted the political machinery that has failed Nepali youth. In fact, he said, "We are bound by the chains of unemployment, trapped by the selfish games of political parties. Corruption has woven a web that is extinguishing the lights of our future." But it was his rallying cry that would become the anthem of revolution. Youth rise, we are the torch bearers of the change. In fact, social media reactions to his speech and recent participation in protest have been positive, with many calling him Nepal's next supreme leader and predicting a bright political future ahead. With all this, it seems like the enthusiasm he generates reflects a hunger for authentic leadership that Nepal's traditional political class has failed to provide. Now, the most intriguing possibility is the potential rise of new political forces. First is Balendra Shah, Kathmandu's independent mayor and former rapper, who has emerged as a symbol of change for the Gen Z movement. In fact, he started trending after the government rolled back the ban on social media platforms, while several users on social media said that Balendra represents the voice of a new generation, adding that he would work for the good for the country without personal interest. Not only Balendra Shah, but this protest gave birth to many more faces. One such face is Sudan Gurung, a prominent Nepali social activist and the president of Hami Nepal, a youth-driven NGO at the forefront of the 2025 Gen Z Nepal protest. He emerged as a key leader organizing and mobilizing youth demonstrations across Nepal in response to government corruption, authoritarianism, and the controversial social media ban. During the protest, Gurung and his organization called for peaceful resistance, using social media channels like Instagram and Discord to coordinate student demonstration, often instructing young protesters to attend in uniform and carry their books as a symbol of non-violent dissent. Now, Nepal faces a future as uncertain as it is potentially transformative. PM KP Sharma Oli's resignation has left a power vacuum that could plunge the nation into a prolonged constitutional chaos. The 275-member parliament requires 138 seats for a majority, but the ruling coalition fractured and traditional parties discredited, forming a stable government appears increasingly difficult. In fact, constitutional experts warn that Nepal may face extended political instability unless a consensus emerges for a national unity government. The credibility of established political parties has become irrelevant, and according to analysts, as the country enters a new political and constitutional void. Some even suggest that the president may need to convene a broad-based consensus government that includes representatives from the very Gen Z voices that brought down the previous administration. But the immediate challenges are daunting. With curfews imposed across major cities, the army deployed around government buildings, and traditional political institutions in crisis, Nepal teeters between transformation and chaos. Well, the protest continues despite the government's rollback on social media ban and Prime Minister's resignation, suggesting only one thing: this movement seeks nothing less than a complete overhaul of how Nepal is governed.